Dearest Detested Father, The Correspondence of a Sea Serpent by Mike Jack Stoumbos. Dearest Detested Father, I felt a crab today. It burrowed 'neath my 100th rib, and there it plans to stay. You'd think I wouldn't feel it so many leagues away, but lo, it moves, and there's the pain as clear and plain as day. At least, I think it's plain as day. You see, I might forget. I haven't seen a wink of sun in some centuries yet. You buried me yourself right here, the bottom of the sea, and cursed me to wait patiently with just myself and me. Well, patience is not infinite. I can no longer keep just lying on the ocean floor when I can't even sleep. I used to slumber ages, bearing only minor aches, from water pressure, shifting plates, and several million quakes. I'd wake, I'd open my eyes and see no signs of my release, no Thor to battle with whose hammer I could finally cease. I know it's written, by the way, that Thor will surely win, and free me from this prison, where for far too long I've been. But I digress, dear father. I could get sleep before, back when my scales had all their strength, and not a beast could bore its way into my armored hide, but those days are no more. The claws and jaws and tentacles are too much to ignore. They make their homes inside your skin here on the ocean floor, and nibble at your sinews. Yes, existence is a chore. Don't think it's just an idle gripe. You know I am not frail. How else could I keep biting if my teeth snapped off my tail? The tail remains quite strong enough, and my jaws grip it well, so I can keep this planet whole by dwelling here in hell. I cannot rest, I can't relax, I only lie and wait. I hope that while I languish all my symptoms might abate. But tell me, please, my tricksy sire, oh, when can I be done? All this I say sincerely, your long-forgotten son. Dearest Detested Father, will you not reply? Since waking, by my estimate, some 50 years go by. I'm leaking from 1,000 holes, and none of me is dry. But you're to be commended, sir, because I cannot die. Why, yes, you made me sturdy, and you surely made me strong. You set me so I could endure a life that's eons long. You stretched me long around the earth, and strengthened all my skin. You shaped this perfect biting skull, and put a brain within. Why did you give your son a mind to know his lasting plight? If I could not think for myself, it's possible I might be satisfied enough to lie without the merest peep. But since I do know better, I can long for pleasant sleep. No sooner do I bear the pain enough to take a nap, than I am jolted up by an astounding thunderclap. I start with some excitement, and expect the god of lightning, but sadly, it is just another bunch of humans fighting. They make their boats of metal now, and send them undersea. I guess I'll call them U-boats. Yes, that name sounds right to me. They hurl giant metal eggs, each loaded with the might of half a god at least, I think, whenever they ignite. And so I did imagine that my father it was you, and Odin, Ullr, Skadi, and my rival fighting too. At least I had once thought so, now I worry it's not true. I haven't heard a single speech or poem like you would do. I call out through the depths, yes, I'm shouting every name, with tail pressing under tongue, so sorry, names I maim. Are you newly christened now? Are you not the same? The fact that no one answers supports a bitter claim. But no, I mustn't think that way. You see I've hatched a plan to send some critters round the world to scout, because they can. I've used a bit of power to make loyalty and awe in all the bottom feeders who can tell me what they saw. It's not the finest cohort, but as far as these things go, I think I'd rather friendship in a fish than in a crow. My favorite is a deep-sea squid, whom I have taught to think, and yes, to take dictation, which he jots down with his ink. I cannot stress enough, my sire, quite how long each note takes, when I dictate through bitten tongue how many errors he makes. At least, when it is finished, all his penmanship is neat, and undersea calligraphy is quite a daunting feat. Don't tell me that imbuing thought is Odin's own domain. Well, if he cares about it, let him come here and complain. I'm testing if he's listening, so my pretense is thin. But when he comes to punish me, oh, I will wear a grin. So I'll stay trapped on ocean floor, just listening for good news. If there are any gods out there, my minions will find clues. They search the oceans in my stead, because I cannot wander, but I will be victorious. Your servant, Jormungandr. Dearest Detested Father, please remove this curse. Why, yes, it sounds a little blunt, the years have made me terse. I've practiced supplications, full entreaties I've rehearsed, while drowned and crushed and leaking, so my speech is at its worst. My minions all have failed me, or simply not returned. Have you gone and killed them, sir, just to have me spurned? I picture you all laughing, telling jokes at my expense. But you have set a system with a fateful recompense. If you won't break my sentence, sir, then I shall end it hence, and I will not be troubled by what horrors might commence. You see I've grown so weary, and frankly just annoyed, that the mere thought of freedom has me frankly overjoyed. And I have power to break my cage if I release my tail, and thereby let this planet die which frankly is too frail. I tested it the other day, I let my grip grow slack, I let the tail move just an inch, and then the earth did crack. Before you get too worried, it is not yet Ragnarok, but now I know I hold the world, it wasn't merely talk, and if I say to hell with it, just let go, up and walk, the end would actually begin, I'd set the doomsday clock. I'm certain of it now, you see, that tiny little budge, the minor slip of just the tip of tail presumed to nudge an undersea volcano, and the plate it rests upon, which tidal waved the tiny isle, 1,000,000 souls were gone. Imagine my astonishment, that I had that much power. You'd think that I could threaten and be out within an hour. I'd say I'd end their lives and bathe this simple sphere in salt. If you don't come to fix it, then, my father, it's your fault. Of course, I cannot reach them, I cannot tell the world. I can't reach out to mortal men unless I have uncurled, at which point the destruction of all life would have begun, and soon I would go with it, so I'd hardly say I'd won. I've contemplated sending up a letter-toting squid, but as I lie on ocean floor, I'm horribly well hid. The reader won't believe that there's a dragon here who bid the cephalopod take the message lest they were a kid. It seems that these new mortal men, and women to be sure, are not as frightened of the gods as maybe once they were. I know all this, dear father, for I listen all day long to signals that they pipe out, and the message is quite strong. I can interpret radio waves, I've learned the English speech. I was aghast when I found out the moon was in their reach. They speak about an internet. I hope to find it here. I tried to set up Wi-Fi, but reception isn't clear. I get my news from submarines and troops from every nation, who occupy their nights below with strange vocalizations. These rumbles carry tunes, but of a kind more rudimentary than any of the bards who came to sing in our own century. Still, I count it positive that I am entertained, and only on occasion are my eardrums even strained. But through the fiercest caterwauls of media and song, they seem to think that God is dead, and you don't prove them wrong. The gods of Asgard are no more. They fell or disappeared. Shake me from this blasphemy, say it's not as I feared. Punish me with righteous spite, and slash my tongue in half, or pop out from your hiding place, and have a wicked laugh. Tell me not that I'm the last of our forgotten age, sentenced to eternity within this watery cage. If Odin ever reads this, he shall beat me for my slander. Here's hoping he's omniscient. Your offspring, Jormungandr. Dearest Detested Father, if you're even there, I finally reached my breaking point, there's no more I can bear. I'm letting go my tail today, and coming up for air. I'll send to you this final thought, and see if you might care. You've given me the power, sir, to spell this planet's doom, and many years to contemplate while in my lonely room. The roomiest of rooms, but still with nothing I can do but bite my tail instead my tongue and let my anger stew. I still can't sleep, I still feel pain, I think my back is breaking, and every time it shifts or cracks I feel this planet shaking. I'm tasting stale, salty blood, My teeth, they shred my tail, so either way, eventually, my task is bound to fail. The signal is much stronger now. I'm hearing every word, including one about yours truly, which sounds quite absurd. They call me Ouroboros, and I balk that they forgot, or maybe it sounds right when said with mouth full under water. Oh, listen to me prattle on, I'm making their excuses. That's not the role of vengeful gods. The years have made me useless. For every year I lie, their civilization grows around me, while I decline mongst scum and filth. The changes, they astound me. But here's the problem, Father, I did not anticipate. Since listening to the mortals, I now care about their fate. They have so many hopes and dreams. They try to fix their flaws. They make such dastardly mistakes, but seek a righteous cause. And, Father, they are heroes, quite unlike to you and I. I cannot hold my tail, but I don't wish them to die. I want them to endure, good sir. I wish them to survive. In fact, there's nothing more I'd hope than just to watch them thrive. And so, my final letter is a plea for humankind. Perhaps there are still gods out there whom my last writ will find. And maybe it's my purpose here to set the record straight, although it's likely none will read my note till it's too late. You see, I've trouble saying it. I hope you realize that it is hardly custom for me to apologize. I wasn't raised to do so, and neither were my kin. But it's our fault that you're in the position that you're in. For though I didn't set my curse, it's my job to maintain it. And now I've quite run out of power, as I chose to strain it, by using might to elevate a squid and lesser beings, which led to my decaying. That's the pattern that I'm seeing. I stopped that use of power once I'd seen what had begun, but by that time I fear that too much damage had been done. And so I'll say I'm sorry, without hoping they'll forgive me. And I'll let go my tail, and I'll hope that they'll outlive me. If there's a chance my failure will not tear this world asunder, then I'll be glad and mock my dad for his tremendous blunder, or I will hear the sound of thunder. All this I will wonder, until I have let go to greet the world as Jormungandr.